Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show, Friday, October 4th, 2013. Today we're going to discuss some eBay issues a lot of you may not be aware of, including some server issues. They had major problems this last weekend. We're going to discuss how our items are being hidden. And we're going to, of course, have a rehash from last week's video. We're going to discuss your comments. And of course, that's where we're going to start right now, with your comments from last week. First of all, I would like to thank you all for your positive comments on my short 70s school story from last week. 95% of you guys really liked the story, and I was really happy with the reception I got. There were 3 people that claimed they didn't like it, and okay, that's their privilege. A couple of people that did like it said that they thought it might be a good idea if I start putting my school videos on my backup channel. This way they don't run for 40 minutes like last week's video did, and I'm going to agree with them on that. From now on, all my school stories will be available on my backup channel, and if you look below in the description box, I have a new one already posted. Yes folks, I've got a new school story on my backup channel entitled, the series is entitled, What Grade Are You In? And the current episode is Star Power 1974. I hope you guys will have time to watch that video later and check it out and subscribe to that channel. But let's talk about eBay. Alright. I would like to tell you guys that a lot of people are concerned, and rightly so, that by clicking that you accept the new user agreement, you are telling eBay that you understand they may choose to hide your listings and that you're okay with it. I myself am not okay with it. I don't want my listings hidden. Number one, I'm paying for them. Number two is I want my stuff to sell. Now guys, I for one had a pretty good eBay year in 2013. I did good until September the 1st. Now normally my slow season on eBay is the summertime when people go away. However, this year I did well during the summer as well. However, for some weird reason, September 1st the bottom dropped out of everything. So for the last month I've been having what I would consider slow sales. I would like to know how many of you guys feel that your sales have dropped off ever since September the 1st. Do you think that it has to do with, does it have to do with them hiding our listings, or do you think it has to do with something else? I myself think it has to do with something else, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, several of you guys have written in, and I would like to address some of your comments as I was telling you. Everybody seems to agree that eBay needs to adopt a new and streamlined returns policy. That's a given, okay? I came up with this idea. Let's say a person wants to return an item, and let's assume the seller accepts returns like I do. There should be 3 buttons that you click when you want to return an item, where it's automated. Number 1 would be item not as described. Now, if a person clicks that, that doesn't mean that it's going to go right through, hip hip hooray for the buyer. No, that means the buyer has to furnish proof that it's not as described. For instance, if you're selling a red shirt, and for instance, if you're buying a red shirt and the seller sends you a blue shirt, well, that's an open and cut case. Just take a picture of a blue shirt and send it into eBay. That's a given. But now let's say the item was as described, but let's just say it was damaged in shipping. You would click damaged in shipping. You would send a picture to eBay that they could look at where the item was damaged. Or choice C, buyer error. Now this is really important because this is where I'm having my problems. Stupid people who will bid on one item, pay for it, and think they're getting 4. That is buyer error, period. If a person chooses to click buyer error, they should have to pay an automatic percentage. Right off the top, automatically sanctioned by eBay. This is my opinion. So let's just say, for argument's sake, 15 or 20%. So to make this easy, let's just say the item was $100. If a person buys the item and they make the mistake, it's their fault, $20 should be held back by eBay and put into the seller's account, and the remaining $80 should be refunded to the buyer when the buyer makes a mistake and it's their fault. That's what I think. Alright? And as far as the other two, the damaged in transit, or is the item not as described, eBay needs to have a crew of people looking at this. In my opinion, eBay does not have people managing returns. It's an automated rubber stamp. Bang! Favor to the buyer. And it's wrong, and it's got to stop. It needs to be addressed, guys. Don't you think? Next item. I often talk about non-paying bidders and the non-paying bidder of the week. I would like to introduce you to what I would think is the non-paying bidder and possibly scammer of the week. One of my subscribers presented this person to me, and this one's for the books. If you would kindly, when you have a chance, open your second browser window, I want you to go on to eBay, and I want you to do a search by bidder, include completed items, and look up the eBay bidder not paying you 13. I'll spell it out. NOTPAYING YOU 13. Now guys, that user ID alone would lead somebody to believe that it was made maliciously. Please take a look at what they bid on and the pricing. Everything they bid on has to do with gaming and gaming systems. The prices range from $15.75 to $710. In each case, this bidder not paying you 13 was the winner and has paid for none of their items. I can find 6 items dating back as far as September the 23rd. Now guys, after a certain amount of unpaid items strikes, doesn't eBay suspend accounts? I thought they did. This, in my opinion, is a blatant example of a malicious person trying to hurt sellers. Not paying you 13, 0 feedback, brand new account, bid on 6 items, paid for none, and if you look at the history, 3 of the items were from one seller. eBay guys, I know you're watching these vids, and you PayPal guys too. Please check into this, and if it's a fraudulent account, do the right thing. Alright? We're working together here. I'm trying to help out. I'm trying to be a friend of the seller. I don't want buyers to get scammed, and I want to keep the lines between eBay and PayPal open. Alright? So let's work together on this. Another person wrote in about buyers complaining about the shipping price. They wanted me to address that. I actually don't have that problem, only for the simple reason I have free shipping on all my items, and I try to build it into the price of the item. So that is really not a problem for me, but I know back in the old days a lot of people did complain about the shipping price. I think you guys might want to consider offering free shipping. I know a lot of you can't because you're selling items for $9.99 and stuff, and I understand that. But human nature, being human nature, people are always going to moan about the shipping price. I wish I had an answer for that, but that's why I only sell in the fixed priced category requiring immediate payment, and I offer free shipping. It avoids a lot of hassles. Another person wrote in how they were asked for a refund from their buyer. I don't know what they sold or how much it was, but they agreed. They said, sure thing, no problem. They refunded the person their full money with shipping, and the person negged them. I believe eBay needs to examine every one of these cases here in the United States in their Utah office. Nobody likes to get negged. If you give a person a refund, I personally do not think you should be negged. Alright? Somebody a few weeks ago brought up a case where, let's say a seller has a bad track record and does a bait and switch where he promises name brand goods and continually sells aftermarkets. Shouldn't that guy get negged? Yes. Yes, he should get negged. So it would be on a case-by-case basis here, guys. But like I said, with the negative feedback removal and the cases being opened, eBay needs to have human beings examining every case and every feedback, human beings in the United States. Manage returns. We talked last week about some of you guys being automatically opted into manage returns and global shipping. From your comments, I deduced that about 40% of you did get opted in and about 60% did not. Knock wood, I did not. I strongly recommend you guys not opting in to either of those programs at this time until the bugs are straightened out. One of my longtime subscribers, Fast Eddie, wrote in with an interesting story. Actually, he PM'd it to me, but I want to relate it to you. Recently, he ended an item early because he had sold it. And he happened to check his eBay invoice and he found a $3 charge for ending an item early. And he said to me, "Joe, do you get charged when you end your items early?" And I know I end a lot of stuff early. So I went back and I checked my bill and I do not get charged. So Eddie and I decided to examine it and find out why he was getting charged and I wasn't. And the reason is because he lists auction format and I list fixed price. And there is a little known eBay rule. I didn't know about it and Fast Eddie didn't know about it. But if you're listing in the auction format and your item has one or more bids and you decide to end it early, you will be charged a flat fee of $3 plus 10% of the item, even though it wasn't sold. And the justification from eBay is that they say the person who was high bidder when the item was ended will now be disappointed that he did not get the item and may search elsewhere for it other than on eBay. Guys, I'm just relating the news to you. Alright, that's all. I was unaware of this, but I think everybody should be aware of it. And again, this might be another indication that eBay is trying to get everyone to shift over to fixed price format. I've been hearing a lot about that lately. And they want to try and mirror Amazon in as many ways as they can. Let's hope they can mirror Amazon in the lack of deadbeat bidders that Amazon has and the lack of malicious accounts and malicious feedback that Amazon has. Now, let's move on to something new. How many of you guys tried to list items on eBay this weekend? Raise your hand. Okay? I got back Sunday evening and I tried to list a few items before Breaking Bad came on, so figure around 8 o'clock. And I was having trouble uploading pictures to eBay. And it wasn't just one time, it was continually. So I jumped onto the Facebook groups to check it out, and sure enough, there were a lot of posts about this dating back to Saturday morning. Apparently the thing had been going on for 2 days. And I read the post written by one of the people, Jonathan Smith, and he basically said that he called eBay to get their opinion on this, and they said it was a known issue, but it was very isolated. But yet, everybody that Jonathan Smith talked to was experiencing the same problem, so he feels eBay was downplaying it, and it was a lot more serious problem than they wanted people to know. I personally feel that way too, because I had problems into Monday when I was trying to upload pictures. So you guys, if any of you had trouble uploading pictures this weekend, comment below and relate your stories, please. I'm also very interested in hearing if your sales are off for the last month compared to the rest of the year, because mine are. And this business with them claiming they're going to hide listings concerns me greatly. At the very least, they should have some kind of criteria to go by so we know if we're doing something wrong. For instance, if they said we're going to hide listings of people who are violating certain policies, well then we know, be careful not to violate those policies. But they haven't said what the criteria is. It's too arbitrary. And it concerns me, and it should concern you. So you folks at eBay, how about helping us out? Give a seller a break here. Tell us what we can do to remain good sellers, or top-rated sellers, or sellers in general. Everybody here that's watching this video is an eBay seller. Many are eBay buyers too. And we're just looking to make some money. We're good sellers, we're good people. Cut us a break. To make up for my 40-minute video last week, I'm going to keep this one short. I'm Crazy New York Driver. You're not. Thanks for watching. A special happy birthday to one of my subscribers out there, Jason DeCanio. Hello, Jason. His birthday's coming up on Monday. I told him I'd give him a shout out. Guys, what I really would like to hear from you on is, number one, site issues. Did any of you experience site issues? Number two, how do you feel about eBay hiding listings? Do you think yours are being hidden? Have you noticed an appreciable drop in sales for the month of September, as I have? Plus, any other eBay or PayPal topics you'd love to talk about are always welcome. And, very important, if you want to watch my new story, Kids in the 70s, you can click the link below. It'll take you over to my other channel, my backup channel. Hopefully you'll watch the video and like it, and hopefully you'll subscribe to that channel, because from now on, all the 70s videos will be on my second channel, Crazy New York Driver NYC. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys right here next Friday on the Crazy New York Driver Show. Goodbye.